really seemed to creep up on us like instantly. It's funny because I was looking at some of the videos that we shot last year, and we had flowers up through like the first week of November, and we had 2 frosts here, which caught the trees completely off guard. Luckily, this dove tree has some really nice fat buds, but the leaves didn't even have an option to become a different color. They melted and fell off. And what I'm going to do today is actually take out some of the dahlias. I've left a couple up so you could see what they look like, but I've kind of left their necks up right here. Almost looks like bamboo in a way, doesn't it? But we're going to remove these and save them if they haven't completely melted. So we had a couple really good frosts, and as soon as a frost hits, these are not hardy here. We're in a zone 5, 6. So we're gonna remove them. And dahlias take up quite a lot of space. And because of that, it was hard to kind of plant other perennials and around it, or to plant more bulbs, which I gotta get tulips and alliums in here. And then, of course, I wasn't able to really weed, so you could see all this like creeping ivy around here. Now, it's still kind of a little frosty, so the ground is quite hard, but I'm gonna see if I could get some of these guys up. This one's really lodged in. I started to cut these back because it looked so kind of bleh. Let me show you a bit of what it looks like. All the liatris has gone to seed, you could see. And I'll leave those up for the birds. Your sunflowers, pretty much you could see that they've been picked through a little bit. There's still quite a lot there for the birds. This is an example of what they look like. These are smaller ones that I planted in here. So let's see if I could find the tubers here. I don't plant them so deep. So here are some of the tubers. But you can imagine some of these are really large, and their foliage just looked so disgusting in the garden. So once they're past their prime, they're past. But these were all very beautiful. They're that really dark, deep, velvety red. Throw up some images on the screen with them. And I had some that were purple, lilac thyme, which turned out to be that big one that I'm trying to dig out over there. And there was a couple pink ones that snuck in that I don't really care for, but now I can't remember where they are, so I'm probably just gonna have pink ones in my garden next year. So I'm just cutting them off about 1 or 2 inches above on the neck. And I'm gonna save the ones that have little eyes. I'm gonna clean these off. And you could store them right in here, but what I'm gonna do is, you have a bunch of sawdust. We might as well use that. I'm gonna pack them in sawdust, maybe even put them in paper bags and pack them in sawdust. The best place that we could probably store them, to be honest, is actually in the chicken coop that we're building, because it's like insulated, but it's still gonna be cool. I'm trying to think of like other places that we could do it. We have like a garage or barn, but it's not really well insulated, and that might get too cold. So it's funny, it's like they have a Goldilocks moment where they can't be too hot or too cold, where they get frosted. I brought in some reinforcements. These tubers are just way too big. I think I could do everything with my hori-hori knife, and then you realize you can't. Wow, this is why I brought extra bags of soil too to put in here, because look at all this. Wow, that is a honkin' tuber. I think I even took out one of the perennials. So this will need to be cleaned off later. I unfortunately broke one right there. That is huge. Yeah, you could divide them. I would clean this off first so you could see what you're actually doing. And then they'll have eyes on them. Those eyes are where the growing points are. And we should probably just break off more of this soil, because this is perfectly fine soil that could be back into the garden. Or you could just leave it as a giant clump and plant it again next year so that it's like a massive bloom. Gosh, my garden might not even be big enough. But you can see I've taken up a couple tulip bulbs and everything with it. So I brought some extra bags of espoma. I'm just going to fill them in because eventually I'm going to need to put some tulip bulbs and alliums in here. I just got word that some of the bulbs are pretty late. There was some tie-ups coming into the United States, so I probably won't expect to see them for another week or two. And we've already started getting pretty frosty here, so I kind of wanted to get everything in, but like I said, everything came really fast and kind of hit us unexpected. So we haven't even done a fall tour yet. Let's see here. Yeah, another one. These are big. I even see this one, but this doesn't look like it has an eye on it, so this won't be anything next year. Usually it'd have like a little pink or white eye. And again, I'm just going to cut these back. You don't need these big stalks on them. It's just going to take up space if you're storing them. They really do look like bamboo. And some folks will take a hose and hose them off, but just let them dry out enough so you don't store them wet. I'll need a few more of these. Now, these came in with my color blends bulbs, and Saunders already using one for his tools.
Yeah, they're gonna be.
These are indispensable. I find them to be very useful.
Have to fight for one.
I have more where that came from, that's for sure. Honestly, it sounds like a tree falling in the woods when I pull them up. Wow. These are absolutely massive.
How big were they when you planted?
Sonder, I mean, they fit in a paper bag. I mean, this is insane. They were definitely not this big. We'll go back in time when I'm planting these, but they all fit into a paper bag. So massive. The ones that I collected last year were just not this big, but I think I just didn't get any kind of big, fancy ones.
Now, will the plant be twice as large?
Yeah, it'll be bigger if you don't divide it. Yeah, if you don't divide it. And what bulb and tuber companies will do is that they'll just break off like a nice sizable chunk for you and sell it. But if I wanted to go and, sell these later or whatever, if I ran a nursery, I could totally do that. And we could probably divide it later and see how many good plants that we got from this one, for instance. In the end, I'll probably end up dividing them because it's just going to be easier to plant that way. To try to find this amount of space in the garden again after your perennials come through, it's going to be really challenging. I might get my mom back here because she wanted to collect some of these dahlias too. And again, this came off. I don't see any eye on this. So it's just gonna be, it's not even worth planting. One thing is for sure is like in a young garden, which this was, meaning it's less than a year old, so I didn't have much planted in it to fill out. The dahlias really shone because they fill up space, as you can see. They get to be quite big. One thing I am going to do is just cut back the peonies to make it look a little more kempt. So this is an example of another plant that you get. It's like a nice tuber you plant not too far under the ground. You plant them relatively superficially, and then they just come back year over year. What's nice about these is, obviously we have a deer fence. This is planted right up against the deer fence, but deer don't touch peonies. And they are a really great flower. I've planted a lot of Ito peonies, so we should see a bit more of those coming up next year. So this will just make it a little more kempt. While I'm here, I'm just gonna fill some of the substrate back up because I'm not gonna have any substrate to plant tulips in. And I'm gonna have to come back here and probably get some of this ground ivy out. And then these ones that I have around the fence line were so nice. All these red ones, dark, dark red. So I definitely want to keep these. Let's see if I could get them out though.
How do you know which one's which?
I don't really. I just know that I planted a lot of the red ones and I can't even tell you what cultivars those were. But I know I planted some of the lilac thymes and the pink ones up front and the red ones in the back. Because we plant them kind of in more of a polyculture, a lot of folks who use them for cutting flowers will plant them in a single row or a single bed and then have their name on them. Because I plant them in this kind of fashion, I don't need to really know what the cultivated name is or anything of that nature. So I'm just happy enough just to have them in the garden. And I could look back as to where I planted most of these from previous videos. There it is, and lots of Camassia, and I could see that they've really started to root. These just went in not too long ago. I'm gonna need you to move your tools out of that other one.
No way.
I'm just kidding, I have like 6 more of these. This is a crepe myrtle, and this is supposed to be hardy to our zone. I think what happens is it's actually root hardy. So this is probably gonna die back and come back. It'll never probably be a big tree. Same thing happened with this. We just did a tour that will run a little later on the channel. In her garden, she had a giant one of these. This is Vitex Negundo, and this is the biggest that I've ever seen it. And it's obviously died back, so this again is kind of a root hardy plant, but it'll be very interesting to see if this comes back bigger and bigger every year, because what I found out is that this becomes a large multi-branch tree. So I was like, uh-oh, did I just like plant this in the garden unknowingly that it would come back as a tree? So you can see that we do have still some flowers here. I think this is the silky aster, so those asters are still out. But even some of the asters here in the fall, when you expect them to be flowering, are not really flowering that much, which is kind of crazy. The bees seemed really stunned when the frosts came through. This was Aster October Skies, and you could see it's pretty much almost out of bloom. I really love the shape and the form of this though. These asters, I think this is part of the purple domes. So those actually look quite good. So it's nice to be able to plant different cultivars or different species of asters in here. Another thing that kind of surprised me is some of the liatris. You'll see this like very tired bumblebee, very cold and tired bumblebee under there. Now, a lot of the liatris, the ones that are the Liatris scariosa variation newlandii, are still blooming and blooming late. Some of them are kaput, but others within that seed selection are blooming late, which I think has been great for our late season pollinators. And another thing too, this Nautia Macedonia, which is not one of our native plants, has really spread out and still has some really beautiful blooms. And this actually might be its second bloom of the season. So you can see that's blooming all throughout here. And this is some of the other liatrices. And they seem to have been picked clean of their seeds because I see a lot of goldfinches here collecting those. But yeah, unbelievable. We're not even in November yet and very few flowers. Goldenrods were out, and we knew that it was going to be a really quick fall because of just the way the goldenrods were finished. the leaves were not really changing, and it was just like everything was melted. So we'll have to give you a fall tour, but it's, I don't know how impressive it's gonna be. You're gonna be just seeing a lot of seed heads. So I planted a number of single dahlias throughout here. I think this is them. And I really liked these. These were single dahlias, single red dahlias. And the bees really liked them because they're not complicated. They could have a nice landing pad for them to pollinate. And these are gonna be a lot tinier because they grow shorter. So I'm gonna save all of these. These also are nice border plants I found. And they gave me some of those like late season blooms. So I didn't cut off any of the tops on these ones because they're not as ugly because they're a little shorter. I did cut back the achillea though, so you could see that there was a second flush. They were about yay high, and I cut them back. And it's nice to see that they have like some extra foliage that pushes through to the colder seasons. All right, so I'm gonna continue to collect these, put them in my basket, cut them back, clean them up. And we'll come back into these gardens, and then we'll be planting tulips and alliums, hopefully before it's too late. And then if we still have time, we'll give you a fall tour. We've been really behind schedule because we took on some more client work, and also we're trying to finish up the chicken coop, which is really exciting for me because we're going to be getting some birds in. So I'm really thrilled about that. But in the meantime, see you in the next video.